reason for that is that the road still maintained the object ID of 0. It was the only one I left on 0, but the rest of the geometry has a separate object ID. And what we'll do is just highlight this and use the arrow key to go through. There's our torus knot on object ID 2. There's our sphere on ID 3. Our square on ID, or our cube on ID 4. Our cylinder on ID 5. And there's our teapot there. And we have it isolated. And if I was to unhide the road, there we have our teapot back there. And what we can do is grab the teapot material. Might as well leave the background on. So I grab the teapot layer, and we'll just rename this pot. And what we can do is, in the effects stack, give a color correction, and let's give it a hue and saturation. And what we'll do is colorize, and we'll just slide our hue around until we get a gold color. And then we'll bring up the saturation a little, bring up the lightness just slightly, maybe saturate it down just a bit, and probably drop the darkness, saturate it. Just play with it until you get something that's reading as gold back there, and that's going to be fine. So now if we unhide our other layer, you'll see that our teapot is gold. And it's all been based on the same render, the same RPF matted render that we have down in here. And I could do the same. I could grab that pot layer, Control D, and just go into the effects and change the ID selection number to 5, and you'll see it's the cylinder, or 4 it's the box, or 3 is the sphere. So we'll leave it on the sphere, and we'll go for maybe a red color, something like that. And you'll see now that the power that you have with it all built into that RPF to allow you to isolate various parts of your 3D render and change various aspects based on that material ID. Now let's have a look at a different feature here now, and just use the base matted, which is this one here. And what we're going to do is bring up that 3D channel depth of field, and what I tend to do is go a little bit silly on the blur just to work out where what they call the focal plane is positioned. So if I wind up the maximum blur radius to 10, you'll see that everything gets blurred.